The jungle moon of Varela 7 was unwelcoming at best, lethal at worst. Its air was breathable, but just barely, tinged with chemical spores that left an acidic sting in the lungs after prolonged exposure. Sergeant Cole Maddox of the Terran Recon Corps had long since stopped minding the burn. Pain was just another flavor of the job. He crouched low in the ferns, his HUD flickering with static from the persistent ion storms overhead. The scout drone he'd been tracking went dark an hour ago. That usually meant one of two things: enemy interference or malfunction. And given the telltale energy signatures earlier, definitely enemy. Then he saw the trail. Blood. Not red, not human. It shimmered faintly blue under ultraviolet light, soaking into the bark of a fallen tree. Cole moved carefully, rifle raised. The jungle didn't quiet down on Varela, it watched. Every crunch of a boot or snap of a twig might wake something that wasn't in the mood to negotiate. A low groan drew him deeper through the undergrowth. That was when he found her. An alien Xerathai by the look of her. Assassin class. Lithe, tall, obsidian skin streaked with silver biocircuitry. Her left side was torn open, a serrated blast wound seared into the flesh just below the ribs. Cole instinctively swung his weapon up. But she didn't move. She just looked at him. Pale, almost luminous eyes, filled not with defiance but resignation. "Go ahead," she rasped, her voice like static filtered through silk. "Finish it." Cole hesitated. This was the same species responsible for the orbital slaughter over Callisto Reach. Assassins like her left entire command units gutted and silenced in the dark. She should have been dead already. But she wasn't. "I'm not here to kill wounded enemies," he said, lowering his weapon, slowly. "Not unless you give me a reason." "Mercy from a Terran," she coughed, smiling bitterly. "You're either lost or broken." "Maybe both," Cole muttered. Against every protocol, he hoisted her onto his shoulder and carried her back to his shelter, a makeshift camo hut patched from emergency nanoweave. If command found out, he'd be court-martialed before sundown. But something about her. Something wasn't right. She wasn't acting like an assassin. She wasn't trying to escape. She was dying and accepting it. He couldn't let that happen. The next few days blurred together. Her name was Vashari of the 12th Fong. Or just Vesh, as she allowed once the fever broke. Cole patched her wound with Terran Medigel, reinforced by a stubborn mix of nanobots and sheer luck. But her species had its own process, one he didn't understand until the change began. Her body reacted to his presence. Xerathai healed through proximity bonding, physiologically syncing with another living being to stabilize internal functions. Usually it was their own kind. But she had no kind here. Just him. "You're syncing with me," he realized aloud, watching her skin shift tone as her vitals normalized. "I didn't choose it," she said, glaring at him from her cot. "My biology did." He stared back. "That makes two of us." First it was subtle. Her pulse began to mimic his rhythm. Her breathing matched his pattern during sleep. When he ate, she grew less lethargic. When he bled, during a scouting run gone wrong, her muscles twitched in pain. "Your pain feeds into mine," she whispered that night as she changed his bandage. "It's unpleasant, but also necessary." They weren't just syncing. They were bonding. An accidental imprint, catalyzed by the healing process and solidified by survival. He saved her life. Now, she couldn't leave without tearing apart what her body had started. Days became weeks. Their conversations, once curt and clipped, turned into strange philosophical debates, spliced with the tension of shared vulnerability. "You think you're the moral ones," she accused him once, slicing open a ration pack with a clawed finger. But you kill just as ruthlessly as we do. You're just better at pretending there's honor in it. You think I give a damn about honor? He replied, tossing another log on the fire. I just don't enjoy watching people bleed when I can stop it. You stopped me, she murmured. Even though I should have been your enemy. Yeah, he said softly. And you haven't tried to gut me in my sleep, so maybe we're both a little broken. He chuckled. It was the first time he'd heard it. Not cold or sarcastic, genuine. It was terrifyingly beautiful. The day the signal drone picked up a Terran patrol ping, Cole should have felt relieved. But he didn't. Evac's coming, he told her. They'll be here in 48 hours. She didn't answer. Her back was to him, arms folded, staring into the vines where dusk had started to crawl. You have to go with them, she said at last. You're still one of them. And you're not. She turned, eyes fierce. Don't joke. I'm not. He stepped closer. Whatever happened out there, whatever you did, it doesn't erase what you've been here. You didn't kill me when you could have. You protected me. You chose to stay. Because I had no choice. That's a lie. She opened her mouth to argue but stopped, closed it, looked away. There's no place for me on a Terran ship, she whispered. And there's none for me on yours, he replied. But maybe there's a third option. When the rescue team landed, they found Cole standing alone at the clearing's edge. He looked battered, thinner, eyes a little haunted, but alive. Injury report stated you were MIA with limited oxygen support, the commander said, clasping his shoulder. Glad we found you, soldier. Yeah, Cole said, glancing over his shoulder. Me too. Any sign of hostiles? Cole hesitated. No, he lied. Nothing but wildlife. The commander raised an eyebrow. Your biosync logs show abnormal fluctuations. You sure you weren't infected? Jungle messes with sensors, Cole said quickly. You know how it is. He boarded the dropship. As the ramp closed behind him, his fingers brushed something tucked in his jacket. A pendant, strange and smooth, crafted from Zerathai bone metal. A mark of trust. Thanks. Of something more. He would never forget the way Vesh had looked at him as he walked away. No anger, no fear. Just understanding. 2 years passed. The war ended in a truce that shocked the galaxy. Zerathai envoys approached Terran diplomats, offering peace rooted in something cryptic called shared bond doctrine. Rumors floated among the core. Of spies falling for enemies. Of soldiers vanishing and reappearing with strange memories and even stranger scars. Of lone survivors returning from missions with symbols burned into their flesh. Signs of having been chosen. Cole was promoted, reassigned, decorated. But the pendant never left his neck. And sometimes when he closed his eyes, he felt the rhythm of another heartbeat. Not his own, but forever part of him. Distant, alive, waiting.